I gotta be fully honest, and this isn't the best way to start this. I don't know if I sound good. So, once again, I'm gonna be watching my own stream for just, a second. Let's see. Talking, 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 talking. Sound normal. I'm begging. I don't know how to do sound. Or I could just not load. That works too, which is so cool and fun. Alright, one sec. Maybe if I close it. Alright. Alright, yeah, that works. That works. And we're back on creator mode. There we go. Alright. Okay. Alright, you know what? Let's change this background too. So, what are we doing today? Today, what we are doing is we are going to be updating my PNG, and then I'm going to be doing homework. But I go to art school, so, it's not as bad as you think it is. So yeah, it's just art. It's just art. If I can find where cool. There we go. It's a decent one. Yeah, that works. This is pretty good. Pretty good, pretty fun. Could be better, could be worse. That chat background isn't very attractive, but whatever. Anyways, first things first, what we're doing is we're actually going to be changing my PNG because this is outdated. I don't look like this anymore. Or, I do, but it's just not entirely what the brand is. My brand is always going to be I'm a silly little fella. And this isn't really giving me those vibes. So, this shouldn't take too long because the PNGs don't take that long. And I've drawn Shao 3 quadrillion times, so he comes up pretty fast. So yeah, I've moved into my apartment. Been having a time. Good apartment, bad landlord. But yeah, it's pretty fun living in the city with all my pals and buddies. Glad that I get to see them a little bit easier, as opposed to over the summer. Because, when we're living all together while school's up, it's not that hard to see them. This is also probably going to be a temporary PNG if I do get back to streaming more. Because who knows? So, yeah, I've been having a decent time at school. There's been things in my life that have not been going as well, but I don't really want to talk about those on stream, so. I'm actually in a character design class, which I think is pretty fun. Because that's definitely something that has been a pretty big interest of mine. Staying hydrated. So yeah. That's been really fun. I've also been in a graphic design class, which I find graphic design to be very difficult. It's definitely not the kind of thing that I'm very into. Yeah, I'm just not really a text-based person. It's not something that my brain can really get around. That's cute. That's cute. I wanted to maybe do one of those things that can track your hand as you're drawing. like the pen tablet and stuff, but it doesn't work for Mac, which I'm on, and you can tell because it's actually heating up right now, as it does. Love this computer. Great computer. Just really, really uses those processors well. As far as other life updates go, I'm not sure when the last time I streamed was, so I'm not sure what people aren't caught up on. See, over the summer I had a job working at a fish market. That was, jeez. So I like fish a lot. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was younger. Didn't happen because you have to do math to get into biology fields, and I suck shit at math, so that didn't happen. But I still kind of kept the interest. I know a lot of fun fish facts. But yeah, so I would be working in there, and I would just enjoy seeing any kind of fish, even if, they weren't with us anymore, if they were, so to speak, sleeping with the fishes. You may be getting an idea now of where this is going. And I said silly little guy. I did also mean that I want to be a little bit slutty about it. So, as I was working there in my teeny tiny hometown, which I just love it there so much. So fun and cool, so great, so fun there. Yeah, so as I was working there, people would come in and, customers are going to be customers. But I feel like I did a pretty good job working with the fish. I memorized them pretty fast, which is pretty hard to do when you can't actually see anything about the fish except for what color the meat is. We wouldn't get fish heads in. The biggest live fish we would ever get are the swordfish steaks, and that's just because swordfish happens to be pretty large. No actual discerning fish features. We would also get some fillets that were like most of the fish, but still no heads or anything like that. So people come in, they ask for their fish, I give them their fish. I got really good at estimating, this piece is going to be about 1.5 pounds. I would feel so goddamn vindicated when I put it down onto the weight, the scale, and it would be exactly what I thought it was. And people are impressed by that. People get impressed when you just see you picking up something in your hand, shaking it up and down a little bit, and being like, yep, that's the one. You put it on, it's the exact same size. They love it. It's like a little party trick. And then some people would also come in and just... I had a guy come in with his son, and next to me there was a sushi place that wasn't affiliated with the store I worked in. It was a different company. They just happened to also be there. I don't really know what the situation was, but basically we weren't technically co-workers even though we worked at the same place. But this guy comes in with his son and he's asking can we just buy salmon from you, raw salmon from you? And he's saying this to the sushi guy, and the sushi guy's like, no, I don't think I can just sell you that. And so he goes, okay. So we really wanted to make sushi together, and he's explaining the entire thing to the guy, even though it's not going to change the fact that he can't sell you that salmon, legally speaking. So he goes over to me, and I do not sell sashimi grade fish. I can tell you that much. No, I do not. So he comes over to me, he's like, can I buy some salmon for you? And I'm like, yeah, you can. Do not make sushi with it. And he goes, yeah, I know. I was still suspicious of him, but he bought it and he left, and I didn't hear anything else from him, so I'm assuming either he shot himself to death or he cooked it. Here's hoping it was that second one. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and do anything funky with like music today because setting up streams is already hard enough on Mac. I'm afraid that if I try to do anything with audio, it'll just completely fuck me over. Shao started out as a maid, and to a maid you shall return. Hello! No, not a maid this time. So we also sold lobsters there. And it would be like that thing like you see in like Walmart sometimes. It didn't work at a Walmart. Where like, you know, it's just like the tank and the lobsters are in it. I'm gonna do like a really quick lobster here. Yeah, that looks good. You can tell it's a lobster. So people would come in and buy those, and we would steam them in-house for people if they wanted. And so we would put them into this big-ass, like, steam oven. And I'd be like, all right, that's going to be about 20 minutes. You can come back and get them. There's this one guy who would come in, like, every Thursday, and I fucking hated this guy. He was, like, a massive creep. And I did my best to present, like, neutrally at work, because the town I work in is a little, on the queer things, you know. And so I would just come in, like, I would wear my binder, put my hair up under my hat, like a fucking, like, anime Mulan style effort. He would come and be like, hey, can I get 2 lobsters? And of course, because, you know, I'm selling to this guy, I'd be like, yes, of course, let me just put this right in for you. And he's like, make sure you don't put them in that long, I don't want them getting soupy. I'm like, yeah, of course, sir. And he would, like, specifically ask for me, and the first time I saw him, one of the guys who worked at the deli next to me came over and was like, hey, so that guy's kind of known to be a creep. If he ever makes you feel uncomfortable, just call one of us over. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I did not do that because I was too afraid of calling someone over. But whenever I saw him coming and I had, like, a coworker with me, I would just kind of, like, you know, disappear into the back rooms for a little bit, wait until he was gone. I fucking hated that guy. The second time I saw this man, he didn't know my name because I never wore my name tag. So I didn't have my dead name on it, and like, I just quote unquote forgot to wear it, and I never got in trouble for it. I think it was because I was technically a part-time worker, so they didn't really give a shit. Yeah, so the second time this guy sees me, I don't know him. He does not fucking know me. I'm just the person who works here. He says, can I get 2 lobsters again? Make sure you treat me like you did last time. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. Don't report me for saying that. It's just the truth of the emotions I was feeling at the moment. Like, what a fucking thing to say. And I'm short. Like, I'm, like, really short, and I do not have what you would consider to be, like, an adult face. And so people will assume, like, oh, that's a minor I'm talking to. And so for him to say something like that to me, someone who looks like they're, like, 16 at best, it's, interesting. So, yeah, I didn't like that guy. The best customers were the old ladies who would just come in and be like, can I get half a pound of seafood salad? That's the only thing they would ever get. And they were so sweet about it. I love the old ladies because seafood salad is also super easy to scoop up. It's like mostly solid. It's not that messy as long as you don't like spill it, which, you know, you're gonna do eventually. That's pretty good. And I think I might have actually been good at my job. Like, I know I've kind of been tooting my own horn, like, oh, I have, like, an innate sense of how heavy the fish is. But, like, for real, I would just, like, whenever I would be bored and there wouldn't be people coming in, because, you know, fish isn't the most popular type of food in the U.S., people would just, like, you know, come in, like, 5 customers an hour, and that's fine by me. But I would spend my free time just cleaning stuff. And when I would come in, because I always worked night shifts because I was so fucking tired in the mornings that they brought me in twice for morning shifts, and they were just like, we're going to put you on night shifts, actually. It was not intentional, but it was a good decision on their part. I would come in, all the workspaces would just be, like, covered in shit. pretty much literally if they were like unpacking lobsters or something. And I would just have to spend like the first hour of my shift cleaning things. So I always tried to make sure like I would do a good job at like closing. This random guy comes over to me one day. He's also one of my coworkers. I'm not exactly sure what his job was. I think he was like a janitor type, or he like filled in for people. He's like, you know, you keep the ship together, man. You keep things running. I'm like, haha, thank you. So I didn't know anyone's fucking names. I didn't even know like my coworker's name. She was essentially my manager. Didn't know my manager's name. I'm just bad with names, even when people have name tags on. And I think he might have been serious because I actually put in not too much effort, but a decent amount of effort into making sure like things are put where they're supposed to be. Cute. At 200 followers, I draw him naked now. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll actually be streaming again, but who knows. I do have my own room now at the apartment. It's really small. I don't have any windows. I think technically it's not allowed to be a bedroom, but we're renting out. And the way my room is set up, so it's this tiny fucking square room. Here's my bed. Here's the desk where I'm at right now. There's me. Yeah, I'm drawing. And this is the room that leads out into the living room. That's whatever over there. But right next to me, I can see it right now. This is the basement. This is the communal fucking basement to the entire house. Anyone can go down there. It is so fucking creepy. So I have like as many locks as I can on that fucking door because I'm terrified of someone just like knocking on it in the middle of the night. And that has happened before. People have like just knocked on the door. And I haven't responded because I don't want people to know like I'm in here. But what the fuck, you know? So yeah, that's my little hellscape. My roommate's room has a window on like technicality alone. It opens up into an alleyway and there's nothing out there but bricks. It's slightly bigger than mine by like, I'm sure like another 20 square feet. And he gets the bigger room because he has a rabbit. And her name is Medley and she's a menace and she bit me yesterday. Which hasn't happened in several months, so I think, well, I know it wasn't intentional because she's very sweet when she wants to be. But don't listen to her. Don't listen to her lies. So probably one of my favorite, in your fucking attic, dude? So that's either pipes or you're haunted. You got ghosts. And if you got ghosts, pretty spooky. You should tell them to move out if they don't pay rent. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm not too worried about how good this looks because, like I said, it's probably going to be temporary. Probably one of my my favorite sea creatures, and this is probably going to be the theme for the stream today. Stream theme is just me talking about my my job and sea creatures because, you know, they're on my mind a lot. But yeah, probably one of my favorite ones are lobsters. Fucking love lobsters. I think they're so cool. And we would sell them, like I said. And so because we sell lobsters, sometimes we run out of lobsters, and so we have to replenish the lobsters. And so the way that would happen is we would get them in packages And they would basically be like packed up like a fucking like 6-pack of beer if a 6-pack was a 30-pack and also full of crustaceans. Yeah, once something tried clawing its way out from underneath my ceiling light. Oh! You got ghosts. Terrifying. Shit. So yeah, the lobsters come in this big ass box. They're all stacked in here. I'm not gonna do 30 lobster drawings, so these are lobsters. They're not red until you cook them. But yeah, so they're packed in there. And they're held together with their bands, as they do. And they're stacked in there real fucking tight, and they're wet, and they're like clinging to the cardboard. And it's such a pain to get them out. And if you stress out a lobster, you can pull their claws clean off. It's like a defense mechanism. It's like lizards and their tails. Like, they can grow them back eventually, but I did not know that. And it was fucking terrifying the first time that happened to me. I was like, oh my fucking god. Just killed a fucking lobster. They're fine. They're fine. They're literally like, they just do that. It seems like a pretty shit evolution thing to like put energy towards, especially considering how much energy they're gonna have to waste on making the new claw. But they just did that. And so that would happen like maybe once or twice per lobster unpacking. It would be so awful when it happened because we can't sell those lobsters anymore. So if they lose a claw, we just have to like chuck them. Swag! I have a few pieces of lobster clothing. I have a pair of lobster pants and lobster flip-flops. I got them before I decided I really like lobsters. So they were just kind of like sitting on the back burner for a while, and now I wear them because it's like, it's fun, you know. This isn't very centered, not censored. But what else are you gonna do? You want the boobas and the tie, because I think the tie's cute. It's a little bit thick. Yeah. We'll come back to that. You would also sell clams, or yeah, steamer clams. And those are the ones where you see them at like fish shops, and they're kind of like, they have the really gross thing that kind of hangs out of them, like that. And they were definitely interesting to put away because they also have a defense mechanism, and that defense mechanism is they will spray water at you. They will spray salty, gross ass water at you, and if it gets in your eyes, it stings like a motherfucker. So you gotta do your best not to do that. You would also steam those, and those ones would smell so fucking bad. Yeah. Definitely the worst part of that job is, of course, the smell, because, you know, fish. And I would just come home at like 9, 10-ish, take a shower, go right the fuck to bed. Yeah. No better reward at the end of a long day of selling fish than a nice hot shower. Because it's also cold, you know, you gotta refrigerate the fish. And so by the time I left, I'd be wet, cold, stinky. I just take a shower, go right to bed. I got asked by, I think it was the same guy who came up to me. He was like, "You're the one who keeps this ship together, man." He was like, "Do you like lobsters?" Like, "Yeah, I like lobsters." Like, "How does it feel when you put them in the steamer?" So I have no feelings on the matter. And he seemed really shook up by that. He's like, "But you like them?" I'm like, "Yeah. They taste good also." Like, I like cows, but I also enjoy a Borglar. I'm multifaceted. I can compartmentalize. Yeah, I don't feel a lot of guilt for, like, you know, working with meat. I think the guys who worked at the butcher shop right next to me probably had it worse. They literally had like a special team of guys who came in and like did like the final cleaning of the night for them because they were working with like I guess technically biohazard materials, um, which doesn't make a lot of sense because so was I. Like, fish are also carriers of bad things, but no, I had to do everything by myself. Um, but yeah, we would have to walk through there to get to like basically have like a shared freezer with all the stuff or walk-in cooler. They don't want you to call it a freezer because you gotta tag your things separately if they're frozen or fresh. You'd have to walk through the butchers to get there, and the floor was like always a little bit sticky, just a little bit suspiciously sticky. Like not the kind of sticky where like it like trails up behind your shoe, but the kind of sticky where like it makes like that sort of Velcro sound, like if you're doing like lino cuts or something, which is not a universal experience, but that kind of like tacky sort of feeling. Oh, the tie's kind of too short. Very picky about this, I know, but this one is so cute. Yeah. It's pretty decent. Oh, I forgot the ears up on top. The ears are very important. So I actually have a figure of this, which is sitting on my bookshelf. And I made it myself, so it's just air dry clay, and I think it's pretty fucking cute. One bent ear is very important. Cute. Shallow's gone through a lot of like redesigns, different iterations. I tend to take him along with me whenever I join a new fandom, and he'll get like a redesign there. So I think the last time y'all saw him, he was still like in his Minecraft design. Like this right now is his Minecraft design. So he's changed a lot from there. I also drew this on my iPad, and now I use Photoshop because I'm insane. It's also free with our school, and I just haven't cracked open my iPad since last year. My roommate wants to buy it from me, and oh, fuck yes, yes you can. I would like an additional $200 in my bank account, please and thank you. See, once I color this in, then that's the quote-unquote hard part done. I don't think I'm going to do too much shading, maybe some on the skin and hair, but other than that, it'll mostly be gradients. Maybe a little bit of shine on the suit itself. Oh, yeah, jeez, that was ages ago. Yeah, I don't really do Minecraft anymore. That group kind of broke up. But I'm still friends with most of the people from it. In fact, I actually, if you watched those streams and you remember Walnut, we're dating now. And I love them very much. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty cute, pretty cute. There. Cute. All right. Coloring time. Make this easier on myself because I tend to get eye hurt after a while. Just gonna turn that gray, and I'm actually gonna put on my normal ass sunglasses. Or I'll do that when I do shading because I need to get the colors right for this. Still has two eyes here because he just kind of does in this design. His current lore has changed a lot. I started playing, I know you're supposed to pronounce it the Somnium Files, but it's about AI. I'm gonna say AI, the Somnium Files. Yeah, his current lore is that he was a private investigator in that game. And he worked with the Abyss agents for some reason. It doesn't really matter. Until he got killed by a serial killer. Ooh. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by like taking him along to new fandoms with me. I have a few pictures of him in like his new design there. I think he looks really cute. He keeps his green eyes because those are more important. So, sort of like a heart is cute. I don't know if I ever talked about his like Genshin. Or no, I did a few Genshin streams on here, but they weren't really that good because I didn't want to set up OBS on the Windows partition on my computer. So it was literally just me plugging in my phone and like streaming the image from there, and so you know it was pretty laggy, not very good. I think I made a shell design for those streams, but yeah, I don't really play Genshin anymore, so I feel like I'm not missing much. The only real reason I kept up with Genshin for so long is because I was like, oh, I'll just stick out until they reveal Dottore, and when they do, I'll see if I like him or not. And they revealed him. They changed a lot about what I liked of his character in the webtoons, and I was like, I'm done here. I just like unhinged science guys, what can I say? It's pretty cute, but I think I'm a little darker. Xiao's real quote-unquote hair color is basically whatever I want it to be. It's technically like his actual real canonical hair color is black. He has black hair, but I never actually color it fully black unless I'm going like for like a full monochrome piece, and then I just color it in black because you know it's dark. But I draw it purple because it's cuter. A little bit lighter than that. Saturation. Perfect. Let's see, what color shade is Tybee? I think they make it like a cute little magenta. Maybe even a little brighter. Cute. Alright, only because yours is the same black as this. And then this kind of keeps like the design from before, right? That's something I really like to do. When changing designs over is I like to keep like the color blocking kind of the same. know that this is fine with TOS because I've seen VTubers that have like pretty much their whole titty out. This is a smidgen of tittin. There we go. Any other little bits I should get? I don't have an eye for these things because Photoshop's bucket fill tool sucks. That's good. Alright. So, shading. Just taking a stretch. I think I'm just going to go with like a simple kind of purple multiply or color burn. And then let's do one of these brushes. Ooh. Yeah, that's better. Could I just select the hair and make this easier for myself? Yes. Will I? No. It'd be kind of cool if I ever managed to like get off my ass and make an actual VTuber, to use one of my favorite brushes and give it kind of like a sort of painterly look. It's all the way at the bottom, so I'm not going to scroll to it, but basically it like changes up the colors with every new stroke you do, and so I think something like that, almost like an impressionistic look, could lead to some cool kind of color moving whenever your model moves. But you can't really do VTubers on Mac, and they're really hard to rig and expensive to pay someone else to do, so that's probably not happening. I did have a dream, and it was literally just like a dream, a really mundane dream, where I was really good at Blender. So maybe that's something I'll look into over break, but unlikely. I've done a little bit of Blender before, and it just didn't really click for me. And I have a really bad habit of, if I don't get something immediately, I am no longer interested in it. It's definitely a bad habit of mine. Oh, I'm not gonna do that much shading, does this. Alright, let's see. Switching the topic. New Pokemon games! Woo! It is so fucking hard being a Pokemon fan in the year of our Lord 2022. We get no rest. You get no respect from Game Freak. I try so hard to enjoy this franchise, and what do I get? I get glitches. I get boring ass Pokemon designs. The only like new Pokemon that I really enjoy is Tinkaton, the one with the giant freaking hammer. I think that one's adorable. Every other one I'm just ambivalent about at best. Clodsire doesn't count because I already really freaking love Quagsire, and it's just pretty much a new form. Freaking love Clodsire though. I think the new starter final evolutions are lackluster, underwhelming. I could go on a big fucking rant about them, and I will. So, I think that the final evolutions of Sprigatito and Quaxly are too human. They're too human. They've done furry bait starters before. They tend to do a lot of furry bait for the starters, but these ones are too human. Like, you need to find a balance. I'm going to take it off. Weedcat is Sprigatito. I don't know the names of the other evolutions. You need to find, like, a balance between being, like, anthro and just, this is a guy in a mascot suit. They did not find that. My biggest gripe is that, what is it, like Meowscarada is the final evolution of Sprigatito. It just looks so simple compared to the others. Like, the Quaxly's final evolution has like all these patterns. It has like this crazy tail. I'm on a clipper mask, I can't illustrate my point. it has this like crazy tail feathers. It turns into like a peacock for some reason, and it's like super glitzy out there, queer icon. Love to see it. I don't love to see it. That made me sound homophobic. I don't like the design. Go gays. I am one. And then I have no idea what Fuecoco's final starter's name is. I think it's kind of ugly. It's just, there's so much going on. It's on fire. It has these like magenta and yellow patterns all over it. And Sprigatito, its final evolution is just like, it's just a cat. It's just a cat. And it doesn't have like, so this part of its body, like the actual like the torso part, there's like nothing here. When you look at it, there's like nothing there, and it feels so simple compared to the other guys. Like there's pretty much no patterning on its body. And I wish that either they had given it more, or better yet, they had taken some amount away from the other guys. They had been like, we don't need all this. We can do like 25% less of this. And I think that would have made them look so much better and so much more like the starter trio that they're supposed to be. Like, good starter trios should look like they're all like running on the same kind of design elements. No, we don't get what we want because this is Game Freak and they released the game too fast. The glitches are really fucking funny, but they also make me so sad. I think the favorite glitch I've seen so far has been probably Fuecoco getting sucked into the void of the pond. I think that one was funny. That's a good one. I also don't really like a lot of like the new Pokemon designs. I think that they feel a little bit too shape focused, like really basic shapes. Like having shapely design is fine. I like it. I like doing shape designs, but they have like that new tarantula one, and it's shaped basically like head, torso, rectangle leg, rectangle leg, rectangle leg, and there's 8 of them, so there's so many, and it's just like really rigid. It doesn't look very fun at all. It reminds me a lot of like my gripes with Araquanid, which is another Pokemon I don't really like because it's really like skinny and like its legs are just like a little bit too long, and I don't like how it looks. And then you get to ones like I still don't know her name. If I'm gonna say like, oh, I like what this one looks like, I should probably learn its name. But the one with the hammer, it's cute, it's small, and it has like this big element that kind of like leads to like visual interest in a way that's not like detracting from the design. I think it looks cool. And then like the flamingo, I think it's silly. I wish that they had done like a little more with this design. Like even Pidgey, like it looks like a bird, but it's not like a specific bird, I guess. It's just like, yeah. I'm not a Gen 1er. I think that Gen 1 gets way too much love from Game Freak. Oh, this is so cute. But I wish they would go back to maybe even like Gen 5 style of designs, because that was when they started to be like, oh, Pokemon should look cool. Exactly. Like they've done good spider designs. I think Ariados is a good example of a Pokemon that can look like quote unquote realistic, or like, you know, based on more like the real creature. But what I think is different about it is its legs are tapered. So its legs are kind of shaped like this. And they have like that nice kind of taper, whereas like the tarantula, like it's just rectangles. It just looks like it's walking around on straws. Never thought the day would come where I would defend Ariados, but you know. Alright, I'm gonna just kind of, yeah. Let's see. They also introduced like 3 new dog lines, which isn't bad. I mean, I like dog Pokemon, but that's so much. I think the Mastiff one is probably the weakest. So it really does feel like, oh, this is just a dog. I like the Graveard. I think he's cute. I think his, like, what do they call it? His signature move is, like, super OP. I wonder how it's gonna do in, like, competitive play, where it gets stronger based on how many fainted Pokemon you have in your party. I feel like seeing that in someone's team and then they don't send it out for a while is going to be pretty good, like, psychologically. I also really like how they kind of got silly with some of the, like, abilities and moves. So we have that one, which is a pretty cool concept. And then there's also the dolphin, which changes forms when you bring it back into your party. I think that that's cute. I think it's kind of funny that they were finally like, okay, guys, this is it. This is the generation where we're finally going to do a flamingo and a dolphin, so people stop talking about it. And now give us a capybara. I think a capybara Pokemon could be really cute. I think it would look like... You can make it a grass type, so you can put an orange on its head. Yeah, that's super simple. Hire me. But yeah. I get passionate about Pokemon because I love this franchise. I've been a fan for, like, ever. And so it's just annoying to me when, like, they kind of doom themselves with their shitty, like, insistence on, like, oh man, we gotta put out a game every 3 years, and then, like, they release a game and it's obviously not been treated well by the insane development schedule that they keep the people on. Like, if we're gonna make, like, an open world game, like, give yourself time. People will wait. You're literally the most you're literally, like, the most profitable fucking franchise of all time. You can afford to wait a year or two. I'm also terrified of what they're going to do with the Gen 5 remakes. I did not like the look of BDSP. Did not buy it, will not be buying it. I really hope that they'll not do the chibi art style for it, because I think that would really be, like, just such a detriment to the story of that game. It does not need a chibi art style. It's a good story. It was also, like, my first game, so if they fuck it up, I will be so mad. I feel like I should get myself a timer so I stop talking about topics for so long, but I can't help it. I mean, if you're here for any of the content I do, I think that that's something you just gotta be prepared for. I will go on long rants about one topic, and it will take up, like, 10-15 minutes. And I will most likely... I started talking in an accent, and I guess I just had to commit to the vet. I will most likely go back to it. It's the only thing you can depend on me for. Cute. That's good. Oh, this is so cute. Slay. Let's see. I really enjoyed Legends Arceus. That's definitely been one of, like, my favorite Pokemon games in a long time. I think, let's see. I have fun with Sword and Shield. I mostly enjoy, like, running around the wild area, making curry. I really fucking love making curry. Thank you. Oh, man. That's definitely a service that I am proud I can provide. Let's see. Yeah, I really like making curry. I actually have a file started up right now, and it's just for making curry. My Pokemon are so well fed. In real life, I'm I'm not a very good cook, I can tell you that much. I feel like I'm also hindered by the fact that this apartment has zero airflow, and so if you burn anything like the slightest, tiniest amount, now all of China knows your fire alarm is going off. Me and my girlfriend we made fish fillets one time, and we put Old Spice on it. The entire apartment just got so fucking smoky. My roommate was asleep at the time, and so we kind of like went over to his room. We're like, hey, if you wake up and you smell smoke, the house isn't burning down. Dinner's ready also. Well, I mean, better than other things. It's nice, it's nice. Teethy. Very important. Teethy. Forgot where I left off. So let's talk about curry, Pokemon. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. So we're pretty close to being done with this base color, and then we just do the one where he's talking, and then we stick it in here, and then we go on to homework. I'm considering which one I want to do. So I could do a page of my comic for comics class, which I think could be pretty fun to do on stream. So I could show like my process for that, because it's definitely something. Lots of shortcuts there. Just call me a webtoon artist. I'm not. I will never be a webtoon artist. Not because I have beef with webtoon artists, but because I don't have it in me to update things on a consistent schedule. Can you imagine me? I'm out of water. I only stay hydrated now. I can already feel it. The parching of my lips, the dryness of my skin. Oh, the elasticity. I need to be put on a saline drip immediately, or else I'll pass away into dust. Speaking of hydration, I've been having pretty bad headaches lately, and I was wondering to myself, man, what has changed about my lifestyle that I would get these so much more frequently? The answer is I haven't been drinking any kind of fucking water. Just nothing. So here's your reminder, if you're listening in, drink water or else you will get headaches and you will hate yourself. Don't do that to yourself. It sucks. That's not good. Eat also. Yeah, no. If the job you're doing is requiring you to make such drastic like attacks against your own physical and mental health, don't do that job, I think. I think it is within your best interest to quit that job or do something like change your schedule if you really really like that job and you want to stay with it forever and ever. You have to do it in such a way that it's sustainable. Like, it's just not healthy. And like crunch culture especially is like so prevalent in like the comics industry. In like, you know, people talk about like, oh, manga artists have it like really bad, like they're not unionized or anything, they can't go on breaks. Like, it's not just manga artists, like people doing like webtoons and stuff like get kind of pressured into doing like those kind of dangerous things, and it's just not it's not good. I do my best to eat my 3 meals. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes my breakfast is a little lacking, but I try my best to get some amount of food into me at least 3 times a day. Oh, this is gonna be quick. Oh, look at me. I'm not gonna do that much shading. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. You shouldn't trust me. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Something I would also do at my job is while I was working cleanup, I would put in my AirPods, just listen to whatever while I'm doing my job, and my manager would be like, hey, make sure you don't have those in when a customer comes up, and I'd be like, okay. And I would, for some reason, never get customers while I was cleaning up. Go figure. I tend to think like, oh yeah, I'm a pretty good listener. I can hear people. I have auditory processing issues. I don't know why I think that about myself. I cannot hear. I cannot listen. It's not a talent I possess. It's not an ability I possess, even. That's pretty good. Let's do highlights now. Let's go to overlay, something like a nice yellow for the skin. Cute. And let's just go into soft round, or even better yet, let's just do a gradient. That's my favorite trick. Christ, can't talk. From Fire Emblem, actually. Select, modify, expand. I believe Kazaki did the art for that. Kazaki Yusuke. Fucking love Kazaki. Yeah. Just a little, teensy little smidge of a gradient from the bottom of the chin. Looks cute. Let's see, let's also do that. Select all layers. Select, modify, expand by 2 pixels. Cute. Yeah, so that just adds like a little bit more depth. Yeah, that can definitely be the case. There's a lot of like different like disabilities um, that deal with like reading specifically. Um, I tend to have trouble reading things if like the font is too small, or just kind of in general, I guess. Like it's something that's hard for me to focus on. There you go. Yeah, I used to be like a pretty gifted reader. It's actually what got me like accelerated in my grades. But the truth is, I just like I just liked reading when I was a kid, like a lot, sure, but I don't think I was that much better than anyone else. Congratulations on graduating from retail. God, I wish that was me. Unfortunately, when I go back over like any breaks, I'm probably just gonna be working at the fish place again. It's not that bad of a job, honestly, but yeah. I wish I was working at somewhere that pertained to like my actual skills and not just something that I happen to be interested in. Cute, 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 cute. I just want this to be a very cute avatar. Wow. Family businesses can be fun if they're not, you know, terrifying. Still, still a little blush. Let's get you blushed. Yeah, I've only worked at 2 different places. One was an art supply store, and the other one was the fish place. What do you mean? Can I seriously do that on Let's Player? Fuck me. That's fine. Thank you. Once we get into my comic, I feel like it's going to be a pretty big shift. I think it'll be pretty funny to have this talking over the subject matter of the comic. It's very horror based. I wanted to do something kind of like gross for that class because I don't really like the professor. And also, I just wanted to draw something gross. So, hey, best of both worlds. Let's do an ad layer. Yep, I'm an illustration. Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually pretty proud of it. I've been doing, it's gonna be 14 pages in the end, and I'm 7 pages in, so about halfway done. I only did that because I thought I was due before Thanksgiving, and I like to be on top of things as much as I can. And it is not. It is not due by Thanksgiving. It's good because there's absolutely zero way I would have gotten it done by then, and no matter how hard I tried. Yes, cute. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, every page takes me about 4 hours to complete, which is, insanity. But I don't know if we'll do a full page today or if we'll just get some work done on it. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. It isn't really a style I use very much, but I think it can be cute for rendering things. Yeah, a lot of my projects tend to be pretty impulsive. I think the longest I've ever gone with any kind of project, like not specifically art related, is about 2 years. And that was for a breeding project on Flight Rising. That's still ongoing, but as soon as I'm done with that, I'm dropping like the entire site. There's really zero reason for me to keep going back there other than the project. So it's just like when I'm done with that, done with the site. Yeah, if you're just doing art as a hobby, I definitely wouldn't feel bad about dropping projects. Yeah, Flight Rising, it's the dragon pet site. I've been a member since 2019, 18. So for a while, but yeah, I just kind of fell out of love with it. I actually have like a group of OCs that started out as Flight Rising Dragons and then kind of became their own thing. Exactly. Yeah, I really like doing Gajinkas, humanizing things. It started out with Pokemon, but it's also pretty big on Flight Rising for like artists who can't draw dragons, which I really couldn't when I started, but I tried to get better. I just didn't think it was as fun as making like a human version of them. Yeah, those OCs went from being dragons to being dragons who are also people sometimes to just being regular old people with no affiliation with dragons whatsoever. I did make some things in the lore kind of weird, had to rewrite a few things, but all in all, not too difficult of a transition. Sorry. That's so good. Yeah, ever since going to art school, I mean, I've been getting better at like learning the kind of techniques needed to draw certain things, but I still definitely really like to lean towards people and more, I guess, natural environments if I have to draw them for something. Buildings and animals, not really my thing. I should get better at drawing buildings, though. But I don't want to. I won't be able to show all the pages of my comic because some of them are definitely against TOS. But I can show some of them so you can get kind of an idea of like the setting. I'll try and think about what those are beforehand. Probably turn off the screen for, I guess, judging which ones are alright to show. Alright. I think that's good. Let's go and color in these lines now. Those are the lines. Not too much of a difference, but just enough. If I end up still having the gas in me after, oops. After we do that comic, I'll try and do some of the stuff for my word and image, which actually overlaps with some of my character design class because I'm using the character designs, I did for character design, and word and image, which is my graphic design class. It's all very overlappy, but you know, it means a little bit less work for me in the end. That definitely sounds like synesthesia to me. I'm not a psychiatrist or someone who's like qualified to tell you that, but sounds like it to me. For $3, I will give you a diagnosis. Of what? That's for me to know and you to find out after you give me $3. Oops. I've been looking to get a diagnosis myself, but because things have been really crazy in my life, I haven't had the time to go out and get it. Alas. But when I brought that up to my mother, she said, that seems like that could be something you have. And I said, in my head, because, you know, when you argue with your mom, it turns into like its whole thing, and it's really annoying to deal with. Hey, why didn't you act on that before? But it's fine now, because now I get to do it myself. Self-diagnosis can be valid for many things also if you don't have the money or resources. I think that if you believe in your heart that you are exhibiting something that would lead you to believe that you have some disorder or mental state. You know you. There are some things that I think like can't really be self-diagnosed, but not everything. Some things you can look at yourself and be like, that's probably what's going on with me. Let's see, is there anywhere else where I feel like I was missing anything? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, no, that's on me. Sorry, I've been meaning to update those. Gender terms are fine as long as they're male leaning. Um, yeah, no, I go by he, him. Thank you. I need to update that. So let's just put some eye shines in so I don't look dead. Cute. All right, so that is going to be our first image. We'll save that as shell item. We'll also save that as a PSD file. Right. Now we get to open up that mouth by asking politely. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate that and we'll lose the clipping mask so he will look like a clown. Where the fuck did that go? I duplicated the wrong thing. Duplicate that, and then turn that off. And we'll go and we will erase this. We'll use a brush that isn't the round opacity one so that we don't actually. Hello? Oh, jeez. Yeah, Photoshop has this fun thing where if a brush isn't meant to be, quote unquote, isn't meant to be an eraser, it will just go and make you use the brush, and it's so fun and cool. I really like that feature. I'm doing a thing called lying, which is something you'll find I do a lot. So yeah, that one of course. I'm just gonna blend out those jaggies. Blend out those jaggies. Yeah, so cool and swag. All right. Let's also turn that on so we can see if it is. Mouths open. I think like this is fine. It's pretty cute, pretty good. Yeah, when I use different brushes, I'll go for different erasers. This one's pretty clean, so I think just using like a normal, like default brush for it works pretty right. Just go and make that like a deep magenta. We'll get rid of those highlights too. And we'll pray to God that this looks decent. Where is it? Oh, okay. Pretty cute. So cute, so cute, so cute. Taste of lemons. When I was a kid, I used to eat lemons a lot. Until my parents said that I couldn't anymore, and I stopped. But if it hadn't been for them, I would have kept going. God damn it. Oh, so cute, so cute, so cute. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn off my my Photoshop for just a moment. And then we are going to do our best to get this working. So I might look kind of weird while I'm talking for a second. And I'll do my best to resize everything, get that working. Alright, we got OBS open, and I am this one. And then for my talking one, I'm going to be this one. Okay. Yes! Move me over. Where am I? Why am I over in the corner? No! Ah! I live. Oh, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I do kind of fade into the background. We can make this work. Hold on. Ah! Ah! This is so fun. All right. I'm now going to turn that right back off because I'm not sure what I have as my recently saved files in Photoshop. That was me. That's the one I want. Oh, this is so much fun. All right. Oh, jeez. Which one of them do I want? This one? Let's see. What are the rules on Twitch for gore? Showing gore. We're gonna look at that for a sec. Twitch, TOS. Analysis, DMCA, accessibility statement. It's prohibited conduct. This is not what I'm looking for. Community guidelines, probably. Yeah. I can't read this. I'm assuming that showing gore is fine. I mean, people stream scorn on here. Gore is fine. Okay, so here is your 10-second warning. I will count down. This comic is black and white and red. The red is gore. It's kind of detailed. If you don't like that, now is your time to leave. If you're fine with that, if you're fine with seeing gore, body horror, stick along for the ride. We're going to be doing probably a few panels of this and then maybe moving on, seeing how I feel. But okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was your warning. All right, here we go. So, it doesn't have a real name. But basically we started out at page 1, which, if I put all these into a group, which I'm about to anyway, and we turn group 1 on. Yeah, so it starts out with it starts out like that, you know. And as we kind of go on, things get more and more weird. See, page 3 is also fine. I think it's pages 5 and 6 I cannot show on stream, so I will not be showing them. So yeah, 5 and 6 TOS. This is also probably kind of TOS. I'm just gonna That's fine. That's good. Nothing was actually shown, but you know, better safe than sorry. Alright, so looks like I still have to kind of finish this up. I thought I did more work on this. I thought I did a lot more work on this. Uh-oh. No, I literally have a PNG of this. Hold on. I know for a fact I did more work on this. Sorry, it's just gonna dip out one more time. Yeah, okay, it is done. Okay, so that page is done. Okay. I'm not insane. That was scary for a second. Okay, so we are done with this. So we can just close that up and delete that. And we can actually go on and work on a new page. And when I show you my sketch, so yeah, this is how all these pages start out. I'm not kidding. It is kind of low effort as far as sketches go. But we're going to use the same brush that we did, the Belgian Comics from Kyle Zinkbox. I really like it. It's a good brush. I'm actually going to let this sit for a second because I'm really thirsty and I can feel myself making mouth noises, which is no bueno. So I'll be right back. Ugh. I return. Everyone drink water always. Not always. Don't drink too much water. We are very fragile creatures. Alright. So what we're going to want to do is actually go in and turn off everything else in these layers except for the outline of the panels, because what you want to do is make sure that everything is lined up as far as the panels and gutters go. So we start like this. And just go down to the end. Now, I'll probably have to do some editing of this when I put it up in Adobe InDesign, which is what I use to lay out my pages in the end. But that's not a problem for me right now, so. As this comic has gone on, I think I've gotten a little bit better at drawing the main character. I do all of her poses using a mannequin, because that saves me so much time. It's insane. So I will try, and well, these poses aren't really intensive, so you will get a few moments of video silence as I'm making them, but as soon as I import them in, it's fine. This middle panel here is going to be probably the hardest one because it has like the weakest sketch, and I'm not really sure what's supposed to be going on in it. But let it never be said that I don't know how to cheese my way through something. So basically what's going to happen in this page is she's finally gotten our main character here. Her name is B, because I like Dante's Inferno, and I like sprinkling little references to it in my works when I can. So her name is B, after Beatrice. She has fallen into this kind of like hellscape world, and she is traveling with this little creature named Geary. I think you can see him on page 3. Yeah, so that little guy, that little feller. And so she has been going through here, slaying monsters, as one does. And she has finally gotten to like the castle where like the big bad is, and the big bad is named Echidna because in Greek mythology that was like the mother of all monsters. And so she finally gets there. She gets up to the tower, and there's one last guard that she has to kind of take down, and that's going to be this big old monster. And I don't know if I'm going to do the next page, but page 9 is definitely like my favorite page on like the entire project. So you look at it here, it's easier with the white. So this one is kind of going to be where it gets kind of experimental, because the project has mostly been black so far. Like, it's been definitely like really dark, but when she gets into the castle, everything in there is really white and bright. And so because her character design is like mostly white, it would be really hard to kind of pick her out from there. So this is how she's going to stand out. She's going to be covered in blood and like completely red. And I think that page is very cool. Toot my own horn a little bit, but I have fun with some of this. So this is going to be the creature like coming out of the water, and also kind of like rearing its head, and that's going to be sort of one action split across 2 panels. So let's see. I think what we want to do is make it so we can see what we really want to see is the water and the bridge. Let's move that off to the side. And big blast of water here. That's going to be quote unquote water. Something's moving through the water. And let me scroll this down a little bit. Something's coming out. You can really see it. There's like the motion lines there, the big tower here. And then here you see it swirling kind of through, and it's this big monster. Yeah, okay. That kind of gives us a better layout. So yeah, that's The super cool comic process. Alright, now let's see if I can get OBS to capture. I think if I just add a source. Window capture. Firefox. There we go. Oops. Alright, let's put that under all this. There we go. Yeah, I use the Magic Poser website, which you can actually get as an app on mobile. It's a little better there, but it's fine. It's fine. So we just have B kind of looking up. She's very tense, so we want this to be kind of straighter. Or I could just also not do that. That's also cool. I have no idea what's going on with the eyes of this mannequin. She's looking up. She's kind of pissed. Just go to that preview and screen cap. Bring it over to Photoshop. Plop it in. Easy as that. Yeah. I know Clip Studio also has posable things, but unfortunately I missed out on the sale. That if I ever do end up running a sale, I think I'm definitely going to be buying it. So that's that pose. And then just turn Firefox right back on. This is her when she's falling, because the ground is rumbling so much. Wow. Just kind of like holding her arms out, trying to stable herself, trying to get herself stable. Back forward. Maybe kind of. She ended up actually being left-handed as the comic went on, which wasn't quite intentional, but I noticed that in a lot of poses I had her in. She ended up holding her her sword, which is this big needle, in her left hand, and so it just kind of ended up being like that. I don't have any. Oh, there we go. Yeah. There's definitely some things I can say, like, oh, this isn't the best. The anime proportions can be a little wonky to work with. You kind of have to edit them yourself. It also has the same issue that mannequins in real life do, where it doesn't quite move like a human does. Like, if you rotate the arms, you can get some kind of weird angles. That's moving up. My professor in this class is like, I think it's really cool how your characters have these clean lines and the background is so messy like that. It's because I'm using a mannequin. There's quite a few panels in this where it's just her kind of glowering at something. She's pretty, she's kind of rough as far as, like, a character goes. Like, not rough in that, like, she wasn't thought out, but she's very, she tends to go to violence as, like, the first solution to something. She's not very empathetic to the monsters. She just kind of wants to get out at, like, any means necessary. Do I have any side views of her in here? I don't think I do. Or kind of, yeah, okay, so my nose is kind of tilted up. I cannot scroll down further on that page. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was like kind of important for me to have a character that was like easy to draw, but also like didn't sacrifice like the elements of her personality. And so for me, that led to a character that has this very like pure, innocent look because of her like simple white dress, but she's really just kind of done with being nice. She's here to she's tired of being nice. She wants to go ape shit. I base a lot of like the way I draw faces for this specific comic on my Chainsaw Man volumes. I really like how Fujimoto does faces. And she's kind of got like a little pout. I've really been enjoying the Chainsaw Man anime. I was waiting for that to get animated for so long, and now that it's finally out, they're doing such a good job with it. Yeah, as far as gore goes, I think because a lot of the things that end up being rather gory aren't very humanoid, like they'll have like kind of like funky colored guts, it can be a little bit easier to stomach. There is a lot of just like normal blood, which doesn't do too much for me. IRL, I'm such like a bitch when it comes to blood, but when it's animated, I just think it looks cool. Yeah, the necks tend to be really small. And these mannequins. I'm also really, really excited that Delicious in Dungeon is getting animated. I fucking love that manga. Yeah, Junji Ito. I actually used him as inspo for a different one of these pieces. Let's see. Yeah, I just use kind of like the like heavy lines around the face and like the excessive sweat shots for this. This is for a podcast I'm in. I'm only in the last episode. And it was fun doing voice work for it. Ooh, Witch Atelier is also getting Atelier. I feel like it's French, so I want to say Atelier. Is getting animated as well. Really excited for that one. It's super cute. And Kiefer is hot. The author knows it. There's only two ways to be an attractive animated man, and that is one, you are so pathetic and scrunkly. You cannot have any kind of competence. You can try your best though. I'm thinking like Serizawa, Mob Psycho 100. Fucking love him. The other way you can be an attractive fictional man is if you are the wrangler of a whole bunch of small girls who are like your daughters, but you're not actually their dad. Especially, and this is not the case in Kiefer, He loves those girls, especially if you're like a gruff loner type, and you're like, I don't want to take care of this little girl, but then you love her like your daughter. I eat that shit up. It's so cute. It makes me sound like I have daddy issues. I don't. Fucking love my dad. Yes. I appreciate them very much. The most attractive thing fictional man can do. Whoa! Most attractive thing fictional man can do? Titties. Yeah. Titties. That's it. That's all you gotta do. 10 out of 10 character. I have low and strange standards for fictional men. I like villains who are just rude and act very superior to you, like Grima Fire Emblem. Not when he's a dragon, like when he's like Robin. I think that very attractive. I also like dragons that can turn into people. That's really specific, and it's mostly like a Fire Emblem thing, but I think that it's definitely a green flag for me if you can turn into a dragon. Or if you are a dragon and you can turn into a people. Seta Fire Emblem, my dearly beloved, he is also a Dilf. Fix up this hairline. This isn't working very much. That's fine. I need to redo this panel later, and it'll be fine. It's so easy. Tragic backstory? Yes. Dimitri Fire Emblem. I can fix him. I can make him better. He's so sad and wet and pathetic. He was born in a cardboard box all alone. There's so many characters from Three Houses that I really love, but none of them pique my husband of all time, Chrom Fire Emblem. He is so silly. He's a himbo. But he's also smart where it counts. I can't have an incompetent man. He needs to have a man who tries his best. He needs to have a man who eats his oranges without peeling them. I haven't played Awakening in so long. My last file, I was playing as male Robin, and I married Olivia. I was basically just like min-maxing the hell out of her, which can be pretty fun. I tend to like, if you give me something in a game that I can repeat over and over again with little to zero variance, I will become obsessed with it, and I will use it to the fullest extent. And if there's a fishing minigame, I will put more hours into that than the actual story. I like the way I play games is I tend to lean away from like the main story like for as long as possible. Like I see like how far can I push the limits. And so if it's like an open world game, obviously like I'm going to be like going insane. And I don't know, Hyrule is still in danger. I haven't collected a single gym badge or whatever. Like when I play Legends Arceus, I play it so wrong. It took me until I was like rank 6 or 7 to actually go and finish the first Noble Lord. Like I was on rank 8 when I was in the Crimson Myrlands. I just had so much fun like catching Pokemon and filling up the decks that I just neglected literally everything else. Oh yeah, physics in video games, instant way to get me like insane. This is the part of the stream where I get pretty focused on inking and I talk a little bit slow, but I'll try my best to keep up the vibes, keep up the entertainment. I'm going home soon for Thanksgiving. Hoping I won't be there too long. But you never know with these kind of things. I just kind of want to stay in the city. So that's where all my pals are. And there's literally nothing to do in my hometown. Even if there was anything to do, me and my family live so far away from the center of town that it just would not be worth it. The most exciting thing to do in my hometown is drugs. And that's it. And I'm not talking about like weed. Yeah, there's just really just like jack shit to do. It feels like a southern town, but we're like allegedly close to like decent places, but I can't drive. I don't really feel like learning, so eh. It's decent. Yeah. Ugh. Love living in a walkable city. Hate going home. The infrastructure in America is terrible, needs to be stopped, etc., etc. Yeah. I'm lucky enough that I live close to a train stop. I actually like most of the time you can just get on without paying, and it's like cool. But sometimes they will say, "Hey, you have to come up to the front and pay," and you can just refuse. You can just stay in your seat, and they can't do anything about it. So hey, yeah, technically you have free public transit. Yeah, I wish that we had a better train system. They're so good. I fucking love trains. And yet capitalism. It's good. Let's get it radicalized here on my silly art stream. Let's do it. Let me, this person, radicalize you. Hey, have I had Firefox open that entire time? My apologies. It was not. I'm sorry about that. No, that's on me for not remembering to turn it off. Thank you. Might leave in a sec to go blow my nose, all depends. I don't even think we have any tissues in this house. Yeah, we have some issues with lighting here too. Sometimes it'll just kind of flicker for no reason. Biggest issue though is just the upstairs neighbors are so goddamn loud. And it is always past like 7, 8. They decide that they need to be loud assholes. It's just when we're trying to go to bed. Oh, I can hear them right now. They sense that I was talking shit about them. Yeah, I tend to just mitigate it by wearing headphones when I go to sleep. Put on like a really soothing video. Yeah, I'm gonna go blow my nose. Un momento. Haunted by a lonely ghost, huh? Maybe it's like a gas leak that just happens to be a kind of gas that makes you hate your partner. Gas of fuck you, Susan. Gas that makes you reconsider if moving in with Brad this soon was really the right idea. I summon you to court. We're getting divorced. I summon my defense attorney face down and end this turn. That's terrifying. Or kind of kinky. Ghost getting freaky. Did you evolve into divorce? Pokemon violent. Pokemon's so violent and scary. Pokemon fucked up and Pokemon Evil Edition. Pokemon spooky and Pokemon scary. I can go on all day. It's like if those new mouse Pokemon got a divorce. Which one of them gets the kids? Household. It might be a mousehold, but it's not a mouse home. do salvation for those. I like that. Size it up a little bit. Move that over here. Set it up so that it has a stroke so we can actually see it. And boom. Let's also give that flag warp. Not too much, but you know. There we go. Alright, and now I'm gonna rely on sound effects to see what's going on here. Crack this open. And that's the ocean of blue. Thankfully, backgrounds don't take that long because I get to be a lot looser with them. You can hear the rabbits skittering outside. She's a beast, that one. My roommate does. I'm just taking care of her for a little bit. Her name is Medley. She's a little Dutch, so she looks like this. It's a pretty good approximation of her. Oh, marzipan. That's so cute. Yeah, Medley used to box me a lot when I first was in like a one room kind of setup with her. She did not like me very much. Now she tolerates me because I give her food every morning. A little sprinkle of oats on the floor. It is my sacrifice to the Dieu de la Peine that rules this household. she's not very big. She's I would say she's about a foot long, like a Subway sandwich. She's like less than 5 pounds. She's very small. See, I don't really have to care that much about this because it's all going to be covered up. Medley is, I think, 4 or 5 years old. I'm not sure. She's definitely an adult. I've seen a few pictures of her as a baby, and she could just fit in my roommate's hand. She was so little. Very small. He got her when she was a little baby. Aw. Yeah, Medley doesn't like to be picked up either. She would used to get up on my bed back when we were dorming together, and we would have to get her off because it was like a pretty big drop. And so we would have to like pick her up for like a split second, like a single second to get her on the ground. She would go, eek. Like if she hated it that much, she'd think that she would learn that if she goes up on the bed, she would have to get down from the bed, but she never really figured that out. Yeah, Medley also thinks that she's omnivorous as well. We will catch her eating most anything. She's stolen a few potato chips off the floor, which is like not the worst thing for her, but you know, shouldn't be eating them. Stroke tool is very fun to play around with. It makes doing stuff like this a lot easier. Turn off, turn this off. And then we turn this on. I also use a halftones pack just in order to give myself a little more variety. So technically this is a 4-tone comic, but it pretty much is monochromatic. Back on. Think like a whoom would be a good sound to put for here. Yeah, this is a lot more readable than I was fearing. That's good. Now we go and we color this gray. Just going to turn that light back on. And I really don't know what happened here because I have it saved as a PNG, so you'd think I would also have it saved here, but a mystery. I don't really need the PSD file for that, but it's just kind of like annoying. Now, here. So yeah, just like that. Very subtle, very simple, but I think it really adds a lot of depth to the pages. Alright, let's get that sound effect in there. You know what? Let's do just some. Just some simple groundwork. Make this look more like a liquid and less like a solid. Yeah. I think we're going to do that sound effect in white with a black outline again, so it works. Let's start with black so I can see what it's smelling like. Yeah. I'm going to change it from Salvation to Ghoulish Fright Works. Not that like as big as we can get it. It's a very big thing. Stroke. Let that stroke in. And just put it kind of diagonal. Oops, it's too big. Let's go to Major Tag, Command S. There we go. It's a little bit hard to read what's going on. I just gotta find a good place for it. Kind of like that. And maybe if I do sort of like this around the outside, just to kind of give it a kind of distinction. Yeah. Alright, one last panel, and that's probably going to be it for this stream. I'm hungry. Let's turn all this off, and then it's going to go on top of that layer. So DB, comics. Turn this off too. A lot of stuff in the comic has sort of like marine life inspiration. A lot of the backgrounds I've traced off of pieces like anatomy. I have a few parts that are based on whale gills. So I think that like fish anatomy is something that can be utilized because it's very non-human and it has sometimes almost like an alien feel to it. So I think it's interesting. The final boss, so to speak, is very, she's meant to look sort of parasitic, so she is based on mushrooms and cordyceps and stuff like that. So I think, personally, I think that parasites are quite scary. She has a lot of like themes of like, oh, she controls these monsters who may or may not actually want to be doing what they're doing. She kind of rules over this hellscape with like an iron fist. There's a lot of like metaphorical stuff in like the monster design. I think that having monsters that aren't just scary but also like symbolic is very fun. So there's a little bit of like Silent Hill inspo there. Someone asked me after I presented this in class, like, oh, are you a Berserk fan? And I said yes, but really what I mean is I own the first 2 volumes. I've read a little bit of them. And I watched like a 4-hour-long video on all the lore of Berserk. So sure, I'm definitely a Berserk fan. I also think that they're pretty interesting. A lot of my projects this year have actually been based on parasites. We had to make like a mock-up of an ABC book for my graphic design class, and I did one that was like P is for parasite. And I did a page for like the tongue-eating louse, one for green banded brood sac, which is hard to say. Yeah, I definitely get that. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's dark fantasy, you just gotta expect it. But, like, when you're a horror series and your horror is violence against women, you are not doing a good job of it. I try to enjoy horror manga so much. I really would like to, but so much of it is just like the writer's barely disguised fetish, and that fetish is he likes seeing women in pain. Like, it's it's so prevalent. It's taken over like so many different parts of like manga and anime. It's just not fun. Like, the last like small horror manga that I tried to read ended with like a character that I've been kind of rooting for the entire time, who was like a criminal. Like, he's done crimes. Like, they revealed like actually he's done a not fun crime, if like you know what I mean. And like it spent the entire series being like, isn't this guy so cool? Don't you kind of feel bad for him? Don't you want to see him like flourish? And then like to like reveal that, and then to have him like not be punished for it was really like, hmm, interesting. It really did. It really did. Like, I spent like an entire day reading it, and I felt like I had just wasted like my entire time. And now, whenever anyone's like, "Oh, what manga have you read? What animes are you into?" I'm like, "Oh, I've read blah blah blah." Don't read this. Don't waste your time with this. Same thing with fucking Made in Abyss. I watched like the entire first season, and then it was like, this is creepy. Actually, I do not like the way that children are portrayed in this. And people who like defend that shit, they act like so like intentionally ignorant to it. I'm like, I don't see what you mean. I think that this is just, the author's style. I think that this is just like a normal thing. And it's, ugh. Ugh. Makes me so pissed. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Like, ugh. There's so much out there that like you think that you can like get into, and then it's like, oops, creator's a weirdo. Like, I was really really into My Hero when I was in like high school, but like as it went on, I was like, I think that the author has a strange relationship with women and children. I dropped it, and I've never been so glad that I dropped something. Literally, literally. Like, people with redo feel like, oh, it's peak, it's so like disturbing and cool. And then like when fucking Goblin Slayer came out, my one of my favorite bands, Project Millie, did the opening for it, and I was like, that's so cool. I really like how the opening sounds. What is the show about? Well, well. And then like I read more into it. I did not watch it because I do not want to. And people are like the light novel it's based off of does not do this. The light novel it's based off of portrays this horrific act in the proper horrific way. Meanwhile, the anime seems to almost like not glorify, but like it fetishizes it. It makes it into this like titillating thing for the viewer to be like, ooh, so sexual and perverse. And so like I still love Project Millie. I still love Project Millie, of course, but like I just cannot get behind something that like takes something that's like so horrific and puts it to like a mainstream audience, and not even like in like a, this is what you're getting, we are presenting this information. Like it's, I don't think I can say like the H word on Twitch, but like not presenting itself as that, and instead being like, this is like a normal, mature but not explicit anime, you know? Like, it's gross. It's gross. It's gross. Anyway, stand Hunter x Hunter. It also has its flaws, but you know, it's good. It's really good. God, I fucking love Hunter x Hunter. Project Millie also did an opening for a Chinese anime called Blood of Wars, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it. I will support them. It was the worst anime I've ever seen in my fucking life. It was so bad. Yeah, Spy Family's good. I wish, my only gripes are how Becky acts about Lloyd because she's a kid, and like I get it, it's like a cute little crush, but I wish that they wouldn't like make the joke in the first place. It's just not my cup of tea, but it's like not that bad. And then also Yuri. Boy, Yuri. Oh my god, Yuri. It would have been fine if he was just like overprotective, but instead he's like, you know, weird. He's just weird. Like, he has the potential to be a funny, silly guy, but instead he is weird. Oh, I fucking love Hoseki no Kuni. Ichikawa is... I fucking love the character designs they did for Swish. I know for a fact they did Oleana. That is such an Ichikawa design. See if I can find pictures of shark teeth. Yeah, so they're just triangular. That's your I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I got like right up until when oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. The first arc, is it Yuji? Yuji, where like the kid gets, the blue-haired asshole like turns someone into a monster, and I won't say anything more because spoilers. But yeah, I got up to there, and I was so convinced that he was gonna have a 180, like he was gonna like, oh, he's gonna like learn about the values of humanity and become like a better person. No. And I mean, that's egg on my face. still think he's hot. I still think that Mahito is kind of hot. I'm one of very few people with this opinion, I think. Jellyfish, yes, jellyfish guy. I'm sorry. It's the stitches. I like the stitches. I think that they're cool. I also have a thing for characters who look like they're comfy cozy, and his outfit looks really nice. It's not his personality I find attractive, I can tell you that much. Now, Nanami. Ooh, hello, sir. He's so fine, I want him. Exactly. Mahito is homosexual and homophobic. Which is also a character trope that I really, really like. I think, like, a fucking, like, Melly, Legends Arceus, he's so silly. He's so gay and also so homophobic. He was like, if Nintendo had let it happen, I think he would have called the player a twink. I think he says that you have little noodle arms. I think that that's close enough to being called a twink that I'll count it. Like, literally the only shitty, like, literally the only shitty, like, oh, he's a pervert and it's funny character that I can tolerate at any kind of capacity is Kaname Date from Somnium Files. He is, like, yeah, he has, like, the, oh, he's talking about booba funny. But, like, it's mostly in his head, and he gets punished for it by, like, his little AI buddy. And he's not, like, a creep about it. And he actually has, like, the capacity to be, like, respectful around women, which I think also helps his case. He's just kind of horny, but, like a normal person about it. And he's also, like, at the end of the day, he is a good person. Literally, like, it's so hard. Like, I do not like the trope. I do not think it's funny. But it's kind of helped by the fact that it's, like, an Uchikoshi game, and everyone is kind of like that. So he's not, like, that different from the norm. It's just kind of, like, you see him the most because, like, he's the main character. He's so hot. I'm sorry. He is so hot. And, like, the second game, you play as Ryuki sometimes, and Ryuki is adorable. And I want to decimate him. I'm just gonna let that statement linger. Anyways, I played the first game by myself, but then I just watched the second game. I got the first game for like $5 because it was on sale and I had like points on my Switch. Sometimes I'm not a sadist, I think. But, like, sometimes, like, characters will give me cuteness aggression in such a way that I'm like, is it because you're cute or is it because you're hot? I don't know a lot of things about myself. I'm always learning and improving as a person. Yeah, I fucking hate Mineta. He's, like, I think, like, one of the worst examples of the stupid, shitty trope. God, I hate him so much. That's also something Date has a leg up on him with. Like, he does not go for minors. I can give him that in the points department. He does not go for minors. And he's actually like a good dad, so love that for him. Ryuki is a twink. He's like 30 and he's a twink. Is he 30? I don't remember how old he is, but like he's an adult man. He pays taxes. And he just like me for real. I see a character with memory issues. Ugh. Kin. Immediate kin. Oh yeah, no. If the actual source material wasn't enough for you, the fandom is definitely a reason to like stay out of it. The Boku no Hero fandom is one of the worst fandoms of like all time. And that is coming from someone who was in it and also was in the Steven Universe fandom at like the same time. Fucking insanity, those places. Oh yeah, I let my friend rant to me about like where the story's going, and it's like a way better experience than actually like experiencing it myself. Like, I'm not gonna waste time on it, but if you want to talk to me about the newest female character to get fucked over today, go for it. The first like female character getting fucked over that like really kind of pointed out to me was the fucking, I don't know what her name was, like Selkie Siren. And she was like a really minor character, but her quirk was really fucking lame, and it just kind of made me realize, oh, there really aren't any girls with combat-oriented quirks. And like, even like Momo, who like by all means should be able to use her quirk to fight, mostly just makes like sticks. I want to see her make a gun. Speaking of, I actually went to see one of the movies in a theater one time, and it was like with a bunch of friends, and it was like Rocky Horror levels of audience participation. Whenever Mineta came on screen, people would like actively boo, and I had never felt so connected to people. And then one character came on screen with like a normal ass gun, just normal fucking gun, normal pistol, and the entire theater just gasped. I wish Bakugo had stayed dead. It would have been so funny. I would have been seeing it on Twitter daily for the rest of my fucking life, and I would have loved every second of it. Shipping Bakugo with Deku is one of my like biggest icks. It's definitely one of like my very few no TPs. Like, I do not care how much he has progressed as a character. When I stopped reading it, people pretended that he had progressed a lot. He hadn't. He starts the first episode of the fucking show by telling Deku to like KYS. And people were like, yeah, I think those two should be in a relationship. Like, Pardon? Excusey? I don't think that's good, actually. Let me feel like some spit flying out of its mouth. Literally, like, I was always, what was it, Kirigo? I think Kirishima and Bakugo is cute. I think that they're good for each other. But no, just ship him with the guy who told him to, sure, whatever. There's someone in my girlfriend's animation class who draws explicit Bakudeku, and she is so proud of it. She, like, my girlfriend found her Twitter, and she's like posting on there constantly about when I'm in public, I'm writing the most horrendous smut you've ever seen. Like, she's so fucking weird about it. And every time I hear a new story about her, she gets worse. Fucking terrifying, people like this. Like, there are adult characters in My Hero. There's so many adult characters in My Hero, and yet you go for the ones that are kids. And even if you claim you age them up, they look exactly the same, which I think is interesting. Almost as if you're trying to do a loophole for, like, legality and morality reasons when you don't actually care about either of those. It is. It is, like, legitimately scary that people have that kind of mindset. I think, like, the funniest thing I'll fucking see is when pro shippers on Twitter are like, the people are trying to silence us. Like, God, I wish it worked. I wish you were silent. Well, my therapist told me that if I draw dramatic material and show it to people online, it's actually good therapy for me. My therapist told me to jump off a bridge, actually. I think that we must go to the same person because they seem to give pretty similar advice. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Literally, like, I can't think of a single therapist who would tell someone to, like, expose other people to that. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, the closest you're ever gonna get to that is someone with agoraphobia being told, like, hey, you should go out in public and, like, let people stare at you. Because they're not hurting anyone, and they're actively trying to, like, do something that, like, makes them more safe by going outside, and they're doing, like, a completely safe activity as well. Like, there's no issue with that. But what there is an issue with is, like, exposing, like, kids, people who are, like, victims of this kind of thing to that material all over again. Like, it's fucked up. They're so insensitive, and they're so, like, annoying. They're so loud. They never shut the fuck up. Least favorite people on the internet. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Twitter is such a hellspace. I love Tumblr. I have so many people blocked on Twitter, it's insane. Thank you. Based on sharks and flatworms. I think they're creepy. And another thing, but I can't say that, Switch. This is an R-rated comic. Pretty close to being done here, which I'm very proud of. This didn't take that long. Oh yeah, I just, like, sometimes I just block people for, like, no real reason. If I find them mildly annoying, I block them. I'm in, like, a really small fandom, and I have, like, a few people blocked, and they find out about it. They're like, hey, why did you block me? And I'm just like, I just don't like your content. I'm sorry, man. That usually, like, ends it. They're like, oh, okay, have a good day. Have a good day. Yeah. Alright, let's fill this bad boy in. Yeah, most of my following comes from like fan art I did for that small fandom, which I don't really draw any more of. It's just unfortunate, you know? It's always sad when you fall out of interest with something. There we go. Slay. Let's just do... No, could not do that. Let's make it white. Not that thick at all. Yeah. Oh, this thing really is gross. Let's put it here. So gross, so gross, so gross. Let's just get that red there in the middle. Ooh, this is gonna be hard because of the right. No, that works. Oh, I'm gonna do it. And we just do a, not a clipping mask, but we just put this on multiply and then it goes right over. Perfect. So just do that. I think kind of my claim to fame in that fandom is sort of starting like people making OCs for it, because that's something that I really like to do. Like if I enjoy something and I like the world that it's in, I want to make a character for it. And so I started that. A few more people started like posting theirs and like making them, and I feel pretty proud of starting that kind of like trend. I don't want to take full credit because obviously like people who have been into it for longer are gonna like have made characters for it before I did, but I think I popularized it. I'll take claim for that. I'm gonna use the halftones to make this really wet and shiny and gross. I'm glad that I decided on like a really limited palette, like as I started this. OC making is so fun. The worst part is that you have to make your own content anyways. Yeah. I ended up getting like really into the like the first two OCs I made for it, and they started becoming kind of like their own thing. And so now they have like kind of like their own universe that's like pretty similar but a little different to the source material. I like them. My gay little freaks. They kind of like, I would say they kind of have like a Hanagram style relationship where it's like so unbelievably toxic, but you kind of can't help but watch. Like one of them is an engineer for a company that makes like bioengineered parts, and the company went under because it was revealed like, oh, they're doing like fucked up things with their cyborgs. We are going to get you in trouble. So he doesn't work there anymore. And now he's like a bartender, but he's not actually a bartender. He sucks at his job. And so the other guy is an ex-detective who is like investigating. Like he's like, that company didn't really get in as much trouble as they should have. I think that they blamed the wrong person. I think that they had a scapegoat. And so he is like trying to look into it. Meanwhile, the other guy is like, ah, yeah, keep that up, babe. You're doing so good. You'll find them eventually. Meanwhile, he's like actively like giving him like red herring clues and sending him wild goose chases. But eventually, bartender guy gets so kind of like obsessed with the detective that he's like, I myself am a cyborg. I am going to basically live forever if I don't fuck this up. And I don't want to lose him. But I also don't think he would want to become a cyborg with me, because in this world, cyborgs are basically forced to eat human flesh if they want to keep living. Like, that's their fuel source. And so, without asking, with the knowledge that this is definitely not what he would want, the bartender guy basically forces the detective to undergo that procedure. And while he's at it, he takes like the memory core, which is basically like, you know, every part of you gets kind of stored in there when you get transferred into like the new robotic body. He's like, I'm just gonna edit this a little bit. Just gonna do a little bit of tweaking. He doesn't do a very good job of it though, and the detective realizes like as soon as he wakes up, he's like, something's wrong. Something is very, very wrong. And so he ends up kind of tearing himself apart because he doesn't know what's going on. He's freaking out, and the bartender guy's like, fuck, shit, okay, well, he's dead forever now. And that's the end of their story. Because I'm evil. Yeah, human flesh. That's actually something from like the original source material. Because the person, like the CEO of the company that was making them, basically wants to rule the world. And he realized that if I make these cyborgs, I have to make it so that humans cannot also survive at the same time as them. Because there was another issue going on in that world with mutants, but they can live fine with humans. They don't need to eat humans. And so they ended up kind of living together in harmony. And so he's like, well, I don't want that. I want to cause trouble on purpose. I will have them eat people. This is a good design. This guy is also he canonically has like, not an OnlyFans, but he has pictures of himself on his laptop in like a bunny suit and a maid dress, and I love him. He's like, by all means, he should be like, oh, that's a negative stereotype of like a gay man, but he's silly about it. And there's also like really, really, really just insanely gay characters in the game that I must forgive him. Literally, they have two characters that were just like, and they were roommates. It is called The Secret of Myers. Let me write that. I'm in my eraser. Secret of my you get the idea. It's free. It's on itch.io. It's a visual novel, but there's some puzzle parts. Some of the puzzles are not very good. I love the game, but it's got its flaws. A flaw it definitely does not have is gay people. Gay people in my house. Gay people in my house for real. Yeah, it's good. I love it. And there's only like 3 fans, so you know. Don't fuck with the Vitsum fan. There's like 3 of us. Yeah, my favorite genre of fandoms is small. There we go. My brushes aren't aligned properly. I will go crazy. That's fine. There's a pretty decent overlap with the Your Turn to Die fandom, probably because they're both horror visual novels. And actually, I can't think of any other thing that we have an overlap with. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I think it's good that the artist decided to take, like that kind of rest for themselves, though. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I've had a few times where I've been like, I want to draw this thing, and then I'm like, I don't have the skills for this, so I write it out, and feels a little better. Absolutely. I'd rather have something that's like finished no matter the medium than something that was a rush job. Looks at Scarlet and Violet, blinks. Literally, like, it's so frustrating that, like, there's really nothing we as the consumers can do to stop the shit business practices, especially since, like, no matter what, people are still gonna buy the games, they're still gonna make money, it's gonna make so much fucking money, and they're gonna be like, see, even when people complain, it doesn't matter because people still buy our games. Ugh. Frustration. Annoyance. Kill forever. I noticed that the non-main series titles tend to be, fair amount better. Mystery Dungeon. Oh yeah. Oh man, I fucking love the character design in Scarlet Violet. It is so fun. I like all of the old men. I think that the grass type gym leader is, hello, sir. I enjoy a pretty boy on occasion. Who'd have guessed? But there's something about a tired old man that makes me insane. / pause. Sarazawa Mob Psycho, my fucking beloved. Yes, absolutely. Ugh. Oh man. Character design that will make me go insane every single time is guy who looks like this. Has to be black hair. It makes me fucking feral. I do not care what kind of crimes said man has committed. If he looks pretty while he did them, I can forgive anything. I don't have too many men with long hair. I think the guy with like the longest hair right now is probably Xander, and it's not that long at all. He's like shoulder length. But I love him, so it doesn't matter. I think you really you get to know your OC to a point where you can just draw them like as simply as that. I think that that's a sign of like, oh yeah, this is a good OC. really like making like feminine men. Like, I mean, again, who to guess, but like Shao, especially like, I just T cross dresses. Who give a fuck? No one. It's fun, and it's free, and it's a little bit silly. Absolutely. My beloved. Me. Gender is a scam, and it's only fun to utilize it when you're actively going against it. Gender is a scam, and baby, I'm the... I don't know who deals with scams. The FBI? I don't want to be the FBI. Oh yeah, high quality. Hell yeah. I unfortunately suck shit at makeup. I'm more into like SFX kind of stuff, and you can't really walk around with a giant burn scar on your face. I I want to dress like a barbecue dad so bad. I love you, barbecue dads. That's exactly the thing, though. I want to. Like, when I dress femininely, I want to do it in a way where it's like, this is a performance. This is not really me. Like, drag queen style. And then when I dress like a guy, I want it to be super casual. Like, I want to have zero drip. Zero drip. Dripless. In Seattle. I'm almost done here. Like, as soon as I'm done with these letters, that's it. And I would say that's pretty productive. So, hey. I'm gonna eat dinner. I love this. Let's make an exchange. Your drip for mine. Right. Almost there. Done. Fuck yes. Hell yeah. There we go. That makes me feel a little better. All right. Let's see. Oh no, I wish I was faster. I feel like there's still stuff that I could do to go quicker with this. Oh shit. Oh man, where did that go from? There we go. That's let's go in. All right, well, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for coming in. Hopefully, I will keep up streaming. Probably take a short break just because I'm going to be home and streaming at home. Sucks. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along. Have a good one, and ciao.